When you look at the media coverage of Islam and Muslims, in a recent study, it was 90% negative. The only question I have is not why there is Islamophobia on the street level, but why there isn't more of it. And why there isn't more of it is a testimony to the inherent hope and in many cases goodness of the American people. So we are enduring this violence on our identity every single day, and our children are enduring so much at their schools. So what do we have to do to create a strategy for the coming era? We have to fortify against this assault. And the way to fortify against this assault is to love deeply and passionately everything that is being degraded. I used to think that Islamophobia, anti-Muslim rhetoric, and the demonization of Islam was primarily targeting non-Muslims to marginalize the Muslim community in America. And I think actually that is a secondary goal. I think your hearts and my hearts are actually the primary goal of Islamophobic rhetoric. To make you and I doubt, to make you and I ashamed of who we are and what we believe. To make us feel like grateful guests in our own country. You and I, brothers and sisters, and our children are the primary targets of anti-Muslim rhetoric. Non-Muslims are a secondary target. So you have to protect your heart and not actually believe that you are immune to the toxic wasteland that is the political discourse of our country right now. You are not immune. You can internalize Islamophobia just like anyone else. So you have to develop a daily practice of renewing your love for Allah and His Prophet. It is not enough to be casually Muslim. It is no longer enough to do the minimum. And I am reminding myself first. We have to run to what affirms our faith. We have to practice and learn what deepens our love, because that is the only thing that will fortify against the hate. Listen and reflect on the Quran. Choose one ayah a day and write about it in your journal. These are very simple things. Find a podcast you like and make a practice of listening to 15 minutes a day about the Prophet's life, alayhi salam. You cannot love someone you don't know. You don't know intimately. Think of the people you love. Think of your family. Think of your spouse or your best friend or your children. There is something called a love map. The details of who they are, the details of what matters to them. And if you're not familiar with these details, your love for them is shallow. It is not intimate. So you cannot love Allah and His Prophet without getting to know the details and thinking about them deeply. That is how love grows, and that is how you protect your heart against the hate. So get to know your faith in a whole new way. That's how we fortify our hearts. We have to fortify our families, brothers and sisters. Did you know that after 9/11, there was a surge in domestic violence among Arab Americans? And the only reason I'm saying Arab Americans is because that's what the study looked at. It didn't do a Muslim American study. It was focused on Arabs. And this is very common. Families break down when there is stress on the individuals in the families because of external powers, external stresses, the social and political forces that we think are just on the outside, they seep and they come into our families. Divorces went up right after 9/11 among these same families, the Arab American community. So we have to fortify our families against this. First of all, and this is incredibly important, by implementing a zero-tolerance policy of domestic violence when it comes to our masajid.